Truly thankful you're here. Lots and lots of stuff that I want to encourage you with. For starters, though, if you don't have my contact info, if you don't have Kate's contact info, we wanted to give that to you. Also, we wanted to give you the Remind. I'm sure a lot of you are using Remind at school, so we use the same thing. It's super say it's super easy. The one annoying thing about Remind is it only allows me 140 characters. And I don't sneeze in 140 characters. I try really, really hard to keep my text at a minimum, but it's really, really hard to do. Nonetheless, though, we send out messages to you and to students. And so if you've not joined the Remind, be sure and do that. But if you ever need to call Kate or I, we would love for you to do that. So you've got our contact info, you've got our email info. If you want to show up at our houses, that's fine too. But so we're here to support you. And that's really kind of what this meeting's all about. So let's jump into some kind of summer calendar stuff. And then we're going to get rolling. I say summer calendar. The first thing up is All City Worship. All City Worship is this coming Wednesday night. It is going to be at Mount Olive Baptist Church. If you've never been there, it's one of the oldest churches in the city of Arlington, which is really cool. It's the church that hosts unity in the community. So here, actually, Pastor Eric spoke in the last couple of years there. Really, really great facility. They've opened their doors for us, so there will be anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 students from all over Arlington, and we meet together twice a year just for a worship service. So that's this coming Wednesday night at 6:15 to 8:15. Don't come here to the loft. We're not transporting students there. Y'all take them to Mount Olive and drop them off, or even more so, you're more than welcome to just stay and kind of check it out. We'd love for you to do that. We should have pizza for all the students. The church, I think we pay $100 to let the students get free pizza and that sort of thing. So we're happy to do that. It's part of the evening. Every church chips into the process. But really, really great time. One of these days we'll end up hosting this too. But they've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and it's always a great event. So be sure and don't forget that this Wednesday night. Again, we won't be here. We will be at Mount Olive Baptist. The next thing we got going on though, and this one sounds really funny. This is an old event that Martin has revived. They have a terrible logo, but we'll work on that some other day. But it's called Wasted Youth, and it is similar to All City Worship. Really, it's kind of more of the Martin cluster. But it is totally student-led, which is exciting. There's going to be testimonies from students who are actively following Jesus, or students that messed up but are following Jesus now. And they lead worship, they do the whole 9 yards. It is overseen by actually 2 of our LABC church members that are teachers over there. But it's going to be a great, great night. They're excited to get this thing kicked back off. But that's May 1st, so we're going to attend that as well. That's a Wednesday night. So again, we'll just meet over at Martin. We'll have that worship service, and then that'll be what's going on. They're going to have snacks and stuff for them there too, but that'll be there in the Martin Auditorium. We're really excited just that Martin has opened the door to allow us to do this. This is really kind of a big step for them, and so again, we want to support that and continue to get our feet in the door, not just at Martin. We want to get our feet in the door at every school we can. But we're excited about that too. So mark your calendars for May 1st. Another thing coming up, just June 2nd, those of you that have seniors, really expect a letter from me probably the next week or two. I'll be asking you for embarrassing pictures and fun stories, but we're going to honor our graduates on June the 2nd. We have, I think there are 16 of them this year. They're coming from 3 different schools, which is pretty exciting. Really, really great class, and a class by and large that stayed pretty involved, so really excited about that too. But again, parents of seniors, if you're watching for my letter, that'll be coming. Something new that we're going to be doing this year. I say it's something new. Apparently it's something that used to happen, and I just didn't realize it. Now I'm going to ask you for pictures, but I'm going to ask you, and even if you don't have a senior, you can still participate in this. I'm going to ask you to write letters to your student. We're going to combine those, and actually when we hand them their graduation, we love you package, that'll have gifts from me and gifts from Pastor Eric and pictures from Melvin. We're also going to hand them just a packet of letters that have been written to them by parents from the church that love them dearly. So if you've got a senior or two that you know you invested in, we encourage you to go ahead and write that letter, get it to their mom and dad, they'll get that to me. The students don't know we're doing this. It's been long enough since we've done this that kind of forgotten about this tradition, but that's one I totally want to revive because I think it'd be really, really cool. So again, that's June 2nd, something to look forward to. LC Interns, this is a new thing that Katrina and Casper, isn't that an awesome picture of those two? This summer, Katrina and Casper are going to hire 3, really they're shooting to get 4 students from our church. Kind of the conditions are we want them to be students that are active, and not only active in the church, but like physically active. So if you've got kids that their preferred location is the couch, this probably is not a gig for them. But if they're fairly active, or at the very least they're willing to be active, they're willing to listen, and they're going to have the time to be involved in all 4 of the camps that LC hosts this summer. Katrina and Casper want to hire them to work those camps. Now here's the payoff for that. They will get either our church camp paid for this summer, or about half of our mission trip to Seattle paid for if they do that. So the camps are always in the morning, so really it's 3 hours for 3 days. They'll do a little bit of prep in the afternoons, but it's not a full day's work, although it'll feel like it doing dodgeball camp with 75 4th and 5th graders. But that's a really, really cool opportunity. So they'll be doing interviews with the students. If they only have 3 or 4 apply, then that's okay. But contact Katrina. You've got her email address there. Some of you, I've already got Katrina's phone number, or just call up here to the LC if your kids are interested. In fact, I say you contact them. Put that onus on your kids. This is a good little step for them, just to call if this is a job they're interested in. And by the way, there's no caveat. It can be a junior high student or a high school student. It doesn't have to be a high school student. So if that's something they're interested in, have them talk to Miss Katrina or Casper, and we'll get them fixed up. But we're excited about that. We're not going to have youth interns this summer, but Kate and I are going to be supporting pretty significantly Casper and Katrina, so we're going to be real involved, and we'll even do some discipleship with those 4 students as well. So we're pretty excited about that as well. It's going to be a good summer in that sense. Youth camp is July 2nd through the 6th. Now, for a while I was saying July 1st through the 5th because that just made sense to me that it was Monday through Friday. It's not. Camp is Tuesday through Saturday, which I say is weird, but kids camp is Thursday through Tuesday. So there's no rules anymore on when you have camp. You just go to camp whenever you go to camp. But we're really excited to go to Lake Lavon this year. Lake Lavon's just on the other side of Plano. Actually, it's right beside Allen. But it's going to be a fantastic camp. I went and saw the facilities about a month ago, met the people who are running it. It's a beautiful facility. It is on an isthmus. We're surrounded by a lake at camp. It's really, really cool. Dude Perfect, if you're familiar with him, he just filmed an episode of his TV show, his little crew. It's nice enough, they filmed an episode of their show at Lake Lavon. So all sorts of water sports you can imagine, including out on the lake. Funny enough, at least I think it's funny, maybe it's not. The number one question I get asked by students is, we're going to have fireworks on the 4th of July, right? Yes, there will be fireworks on the 4th of July. In fact, we'll probably have a better, unless you're at the Ranger Stadium that night, we'll have a better fireworks show than most folks, because not only does the camp put on a fireworks show, but there'll be lots of people around the lake also putting on a fireworks show. So they'll be seeing our fireworks and lots of fireworks in distance. So that'll be a really, really cool deal. The thing I'm most excited about camp for our students, though, is our speaker this year. He's a guy named Runks. Runks is 6'5". He weighs maybe 150 pounds soaking wet. I mean, he's just a tall, scrawny dude. But he is twice as ADHD as I am, and talks twice as fast as I do, and he's about 10 years older than me. He's a good friend of mine. He's my favorite youth speaker in the entire country, because he's an incredible man of God. He knows really, really how to connect with teenagers. West Texas, he's a tech fan, by the way, for those of you who care about that sort of thing. So, yeah, good dude. I've worked with him several times over the years. Our kids are going to love him and learn a lot from him. But there's about 20 different activities the students can be a part of. So, you can register for camp now. It's labc.com/youth or labc.com/summerfun. Either way, camp is $185, which is a great deal. It's a little bit cheaper than what we did last year. Or you can just pay your deposit. I think he said the deposit was $35. You just want to go that route. Final payment for camp won't be due until that Sunday before we leave. So July, actually, no, it'd be June 31st. The question I want to ask you, though, I'd really like to not rent a bus if we can help that. It's going to cost about $1,000 to get a bus for us to go from here to Allen. That just feels really silly to me. And so, if we don't have to, I'm just curious if there were 10 parents that would be willing to drive our students over in their SUVs. We'd still rent a trailer and pull trucks. We'd still take a couple of vehicles that we'll have with us all the time. But I'd love to save that money and invest that money instead into something else for the students this summer. So it's not something you have to answer me right now. Just think about it. That's something you'd be willing to help us do, to transport kids to Plano, which camp doesn't start until I think 2 that afternoon, so we don't have to worry about rush hour traffic. And then again, camp ends on a Saturday, so there's no rush hour traffic to deal with then too. So you can come back on Saturday and pick us up. And it wouldn't be a big deal at all. It's something for y'all to think about. Again, I'd love to invest that $1,000 in something else. If at the very least, maybe we'd make camp just a hair cheaper. But we'll probably take 60 to 70 students to camp this year, which we're excited about. So again, that's Lake Lavon. It's going to be a great time. Other big thing going on this summer is our Seattle mission trip. This is for junior high or high school students, but we have a max of 15 spots for this. One of the new things that we're doing about this too is we're requiring students before they get signed up for this trip to do an interview with me or Kate. I'm certainly why are you doing the interview thing? Don't you just want my money? And the answer is No, I don't want your money. I want to make sure our students that are going on this trip understand what they're signing up for. Not only do they understand what missions is and why it matters, because really for 6 months we've had a whole bunch of students go, I want to go to Seattle, that sounds awesome. I'm a Seahawks fan, let's do it, that's great. And all those things are cool, and we're definitely going to have some fun, but that's not why we're going. We're going to serve the Lord, and also we're going very much so to support our church, the dwelling place up there. We're going to be kind of their backup. The dwelling place is doing the leading, and we're going to be the energy and not even the spearhead. We're going to do whatever it is they need us to do. And so it's going to involve a ton of walking, miles and miles of walking a day. It's going to involve just being out in the sun and working all day long. And we're going to go home and sleep and wake up the next morning and do it again. And then whatever else pops up that they need us to do, even if it's not something we planned for, that's what we're going to do because we want to support the church. So I want to make sure the students understand that's what it's about. And so that's the conversation I've had. It's not an intense thing. I'm not grilling them, but I truly want them to understand, again, the purpose of missions and why we're doing this, and to make sure that's something that they're willing to do. I had a couple of conversations with students that after they talked to me, they go, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that or not. And that's okay. That's why we're having these conversations. I also just think, again, it's good for students to have, an interview kind of thing. It's just a good life skill for them. But that's what's going on. The trip's going to be $450. The deadline to sign up, though, and this is a hard deadline, is April 21st. And that's so we can buy the plane tickets at the absolute cheapest that we can do it. They're sitting right now, which is really exciting, at about $280 round trip. It's incredible, it sounds like. So, and they've assured me that price will remain the same for really a couple more weeks. So, yeah, the 21st is our hard deadline. It's not that a kid couldn't sign up after that point. It's just going to be a lot more expensive and probably a lot more complicated because I can't promise that we get a kid on the same plane at that point. Now, we do have a group that's driving up. One of our praise bands is going up, Hannah Hall, and they call them the Part-Time Rock Stars, which is a fun name. They're going to drive to Seattle with all their equipment. But I don't necessarily want to put a student in with them. That would be chaos and any number of reasons. But anyway, yeah, hard deadline, April 21st, so just keep that in mind. Summer calendar, that will be coming to you soon. I'm kind of putting the finishing touches on that. Part of why I want to meet with you today, though, is I need help in a couple of areas. We're looking for host homes that would be willing to host the Bible study that we do every Monday night. Ideally, I'd really like the idea of bouncing around instead of just being a burden on one family all summer or two families all summer long. I'd love to just every Monday or maybe even every other Monday to be in a different house. Because it's good for us to be in each other's homes and get to know each other in that fashion. It's good for our students to go, oh, okay, that's your mom and dad. Awesome. This is where you live. Cool. You live a lot closer to me than I realize. And so we want to have host homes for our Bible study, but then we're also looking for host homes for our swim parties too, which is always a great time. We do that at least, if not once or twice a month. And so those are two areas specifically where I need some help. And then obviously all these other fun things that we're going to do, we really want to go have a picnic together. We're going to find ideally, Kate and I have been talking about it, we want to find a location not in the Metroplex. I don't know where that is yet. We're going to find a non-Metroplex location though and drive over, hang out in the park and have a picnic together and just hang out. We're going to go play whirly ball. We did that back in January with a small group of students. Had so much fun. The junior high boys are dying to play paintball. It might just be me and the junior high boys. That's fine. I can handle that. We're going to do that. Again, we'll swim. We will do Christmas in July. That's one of our traditions now. It's just a lot of fun. That's always a great time. As long as I'm your youth pastor, there will always be Rangers games in the summer. Again, if I go by myself, that's okay. Something that we did last summer in Loveland that was so much fun is we took a snow cone machine that we rented, and we just gave away snow cones to people and talked to folks about the Lord. And we thought, this is easy. We can do this at home. So we're going to do that this summer. At least once, if not twice. We're just going to, actually, probably the day that we do the picnic thing, we're going to do the picnic, and then we're going to set up our snow cone machine and give away snow cones and talk about Jesus. Whether they come to LABC or not is irrelevant. We just want to bless our community. So we're excited about that possibility too. I was contacted this week about a kind of a makeshift apartment VBS that needs some support, so we may take some students to go do that as well. And I don't know, it's going to be a fun, full summer with lots of just brainless activities and structured activities and things that are designed for fellowship, and then things that we really want to see them grow in their faith this summer. And so we're going to capture that and make use of it. And generally speaking, I discovered most parents are happy to let me take your kids because you're tired of dealing with them all day. I'm fine with that. I love hanging out with your kids. So that'll be great. So there's some of your activities. Hopefully I'll have that calendar to you by the end of April, and you'll have all those dates in mind. Sixth grade promotion. We've got some of our sixth grade parents in here, which we're excited to have you here. The date we are going to come and lovingly, we use the term kidnap, so we're not kidnapped. The day that we will come and take them from the sixth grade classroom and bring them up here is July 28th. You can't really see the writing, but the thing on the side says it's more awesome than a cat boxing a bear. So yeah, we say silly things around here. That's just a dumb photo I found online, thought it was funny. But that is Promotion Sunday, so just be aware of that. I keep popping into the sixth grade class and spending lots of time with your students. We want them to feel as comfortable and safe and secure and even excited about this jump up. It's a lot different than kids 10 years ago. They could not wait to join youth group 10 years ago. Now in some cases there's some trepidation about that. We're really sensitive to that, so we want to make that transition not only smooth for your kids, but for some of you, you may have that trepidation as well. Give them fully compassion to that too. So if there's anything I can do to help make this smooth, even if it's just coming over and hanging out and kind of walking you through what we do, we will do that. But I can just be aware that is the official date. If your kids are going to kids camp, sixth graders, we will do, we don't call it initiation anymore, but we will kind of knight them as official members of the youth group there at kids camp. In fact, the last thing they do before they go to bed that night is they get to hang out with the youth group students that are there, and we do a scavenger hunt thing with them, and they get a Sonic drink, which of course they love, and just make a big deal about, hey, you're a part of us now. And then again, Sunday morning we'll come and officially ferry them up to us. So be watching of that. Did I skip one? Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, this is something we just decided this week. I went to First United Methodist in Mansfield. Several of you are familiar with Celebrate Recovery that we've been hosting really all semester long. And it's going really, really well. Miss Heather started talking to me about this teenager segment of it, and it's called The Landing. And what we discovered is there's only 2 churches in the entire Metroplex that host the teenage version of Celebrate Recovery. But the fact is every church in the Metroplex has students that are dealing with the exact same issues that their parents are dealing with when they come to Celebrate Recovery. And so the better, more holistic option for us as a church family, if we're going to minister to parents of kids, again, whether they're church members or not is irrelevant, if we're going to minister to people who are parents but have teenagers who are also still dealing with those hurts and hang-ups, then we want to minister to those teenagers as well. And then eventually we'll even be able to do that for the children. They have a children's-based version of CR as well. So again, we're going to be working, hopefully we can pull this off. This may be super ambitious to try to pull it off by then. But the goal is to hopefully have this by the fall. And so I'm just making you aware of that. You'll hear me talking about that, and we'll even be looking for some of you to get involved in that. And that's a different, being a totally different kind of small group leader. It's a pretty fascinating process. So again, just a heads up, that's coming. We're excited about it. The other thing going on though, and this is not till December, but I'm talking about it now because this is a pretty big investment. We are going to Bosnia in December. I'm super, and we've been planning this for almost a year. In December, we're going to Bosnia. We'll leave a couple days after Christmas. That return date is not a hard date yet. We're still working with the Greenwiches on what that'll look like. There's a very real possibility we're going to Bosnia to go ski for Jesus, which just sounds awful, I know, right? But one of the ministries that the Greenwiches do during the winter months is they are out on the slopes talking to Jesus to people when they're not skiing. And so Jeremy said, do you think you could talk some teenagers into coming and ski and talking a little about the Lord? And I said, you can talk me into that. So I miss snowboarding so bad I can't stand it. So we're excited about this possibility. But if there's anything that's even more intriguing to me, one of the things that Jeremy has been doing lately is ministering to people through baseball. And he said, you don't know anything about that, do you? He said, the day is mine. This is the greatest mission trip ever. I can ski and talk about baseball. You can also see in the bottom right, there's American football. Jeremy has been helping establish an American football team in Bosnia, of all things. Bottom line is the Bosnian folks are intrigued with some of the steps that we as Americans do. So this is a really, really cool opportunity that we have to go. Of course, we've got our team that's going in was it June or July? Are we going to ride the bus? There you go. So we'll be the follow-up squad there. You know, we've already sent a team once last summer. We're going to send another team this summer, and then over Christmas time for a third group, a bunch of teenagers, no less, to show up in Bosnia. I'll give you a really, really powerful statement. That one is going to be for high schoolers only, unless mom and dad do go. I've had a couple people ask, hey, would you be willing to let a whole family come? I'm absolutely willing to let a whole family come. We need to work some stuff out. But that'll be for high schoolers. Again, unless mom and dad come, and we'll figure out what that looks like. But I don't have a deadline of when we need to sign up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I do have a deadline. right there, duh, sorry. August 11th is really the deadline when we need to have people signed up and paying deposits, and then we figure out the flights and all that good stuff. And again, the sooner we buy those plane tickets, the better off we're going to be. Most of the cost of that trip is the plane ticket. That's why it's so much. Now, hopefully we can get that way, way lower, but there's no guarantees on that. So it's really that $3,500. That's I won't charge you any more than that. We'll just say it that way. But hoping we can bring that down. We're pretty excited about that trip. The Greens is really excited. Their kids are excited that some of their LABC friends might come and see them. So that would be really, really cool. I just thought this was funny. I like memes, and I don't know if you've ever had any conversations with kids like this or not. Your kids ever told you, hey, Mom, you're not funny? There's your free comeback, okay?